Good day, viewers. Welcome to G4TV, where we bring you the latest in business insights and technology. I'm Gregory Martin. Today, we're diving into Module 5 in the all about decision support system. Stay tuned because you don't want to miss this. Decision making is at the heart of every successful organization. Whether it's selecting the best marketing strategy, choosing between suppliers, or forecasting future sales. Businesses need reliable systems to gather, process, and analyze data. For example, imagine a retail company is facing a decline in sales. To address this issue, they need to analyze customer purchase data and project future sales trends. Without the proper tools in place, the company would struggle to make an informed decision. This is where systems like EDP, MIS, and DSS play a critical role to achieve success. Together with our team here at G4TV, we're excited to guide you through Module 5 on Decision Support System. Learn to differentiate between EDP, MIS, and DSS, brought to you by Johan, me, and Sherwin. Understand the DSS objectives as explained by Maureen. And finally, we'll dive into designing a simple DSS. This segment will be reported by Corina, Brian, Jigs, Nathaniel, and Alvin. By mastering these concepts, you'll be equipped to build systems that tackle real-world business problems. Stay with us as we break it all down only here on G4TV.
Hi, I am John Nacario and I will discuss about the concepts of decision making. So we will start with the history. During the late 1950s to early 1960s, there were two theories that were mainly studied in Carnegie Institute of Technology and Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In 1971, three published papers have mainly talked about how computers and analytical models help in decision making, as well as how it supports management or investment managers in managing stock portfolios. In 1975, computer-supported modeling is introduced by J.D.C. Little. 1978 is when Morton and Keene introduced the comprehensive behavioral orientation to DSS. And this is still actually a common subject still being taught today to degree programs like information systems and management science. In 1984 onwards, there were already a lot of systems being developed and theories being discussed here, but there were three systems that were given to Sprague and Carlson, which is POMS, AIMS, and CRT-based system. Now let's move on to the concepts of decision making. Herbert Simons mentioned three distinct stages of decision making, and these are the intelligence stage, design stage, and choice stage. In the intelligence stage, we gather the information and determine the scope of our problem. Design stage is where we create alternative courses of action and pair it to the outcome. And lastly, the choice stage is where we select the best course of action that will best answer our problem. We will learn more about the three stages and levels of decision making on the next slides.
Three stages and three levels of decision making. In 1971, Gorby and Morton defined a two-dimensional categorization of decisions. The first level dimension of categorization relates to the part of the organization affected by the particular problem. Second dimension of categorization is related to the degree of structure and hence the amount of uncertainty involved in the problem. On first dimension, there were three levels of decisions. First, strategic concentrates on the wider range of issues involving the performance of the organization in the medium to long term. Tactical concerns with the short to medium term implications within the tactical area of the organizations. Operational, standardized and much of which can be automated. The second dimension of categorization is related to the degree of structure and hence the amount of uncertainty involved in the problem. In the second dimension of categorization, there were three levels of structure, which describe the range of complexity and uncertainty relevant to decision making. Mostly structured, decisions that were virtually automatic and where appropriate rules can be defined. Semi-structured, considered to include decision making under uncertainty where complete knowledge is not available and rules and objectives are not specific. Mostly unstructured. There are almost no rules, guidelines, or precedents available to assist the decision maker.
After learning about the 3 stages and levels of decision-making from Mr. Gregory, we will now discuss the alphabet soup of EDP, MIS, and DSS. Good day, I'm Sherwin. When computers were first introduced, it was found out that the processing power of these machines can actually be used to automate the generation of reports that usually involve a lot of computations. EDP, or electronic data processing, it is the manipulation of data for the purpose of increasing their usefulness. For example, the generation of payroll for an organization is now being done using computers, whereas before, these were computed by hand by the accounting division of the organization. In data processing, the information that is generated is actually only in the form of totals, aside from the summary of raw data themselves. Its difference from the manual system is that more data are now available to the managers. MIS, or Management Information Systems, builds on DBMS to provide integrated information. For example, an organization may have a database of its personnel containing all information about each personnel and a database of the inventory of equipment. In the MIS setup, the system can now generate a list of personnel that can possibly still take a newly acquired equipment. DSS, or Decision Support Systems, a system that produces information higher than the produced by MIS and information that can directly support the decisions of an individual manager. The information generated by EDP and MIS is not adequate for direct decision making yet. It is more suitable to a group of managers to be deliberated upon and come up with a decision from this. The example is DSS may prioritize personnel based on certain criteria for better decision making. As a summary, we can view EDP as a system producing least information content, then followed by MIS, and then followed by DSS.
We now move on to the objectives of DSS. There are 3 objectives that DSS should achieve as defined by Keene and Morton. First is, DSS should assist managers in making decisions to solve semi-structured problems. In reality, most problems are really semi-structured. There are only rare occasions wherein we encounter problems such as purely structured or purely unstructured. The second objective is to support the manager's judgment rather than replace it, because DSS is not intended to replace the manager. We can view the DSS and manager working as a team to solve problems, since the DSS can solve the structured portion. Meanwhile, the manager applies judgment, intuition, and does the analysis. Therefore, for the last objective, DSS should improve the effectiveness of managers' decision-making rather than its efficiency. The quality of the decision made with the use of DSS should never be replaced for speed. The DSS should assist the manager in coming up with the best possible decision rather than simply speeding up the decision-making process. Now that we know that these 3 objectives, let's learn the fundamental principles of DSS concept that correlates with these objectives. 1. Problem structure. With this case, the focus of DSS is semi-structured problem. 2. Decision support, or ability of DSS to assist managers in making informed decisions. And 3. Decision effectiveness, quality, and impact of decision made with the aid of DSS. So what do you think the type of problem that can be solved using a DSS as a support? The answer is semi-structured problem.
As we knew the objectives of DSS already, we'll go through with the predicting the future with historical data. In most instances, the designer has historical data available at disposal. For DSS to be effective, decision makers and designers of DSS must work closely together to predict the future with accuracy. When it comes to text-based data and self-information, traditionally, managers often rely on verbal reports and the limited use of automated operating systems. In conclusion, incorporating text-based data and self-information is essential for modern DSS. A well-designed system leveraging both data types can significantly improve decision-making processes.
Thank you, groupmates, and I'm Brian discussing DDS issues, formalizing the informal and uncertainty. In organization, formal procedures involve organized and standardized ways of communicating through reports, emails, or other written channels. These methods are part of company's process and adheres to established guidelines. They play a role in decision-making process by providing everyone with information, enabling tracking of progress. Detailed progress reports and structural communication follow established protocols with the organization. Informal process refer to those that bypass channels. This includes such as phone calls or face-to-face discussion, well as unauthorized adjustment made by the employees to streamline process for their benefits. Despite not being documented or specified, these steps play a role in decision-making process. Impact. These informal methods influence decision-making and should be included in DSS design to ensure accurate system output. Uncertainty. These factors contribute to uncertainty, which can lead to cost overruns, wasted resources, and incomplete project. DSS designers need to recognize these uncertainties and prepare for them from the outset. For example, unclear objective. The problem being addressed may change. Feasibility issues. Difficulty in determining if all objectives can be achieved. Shifting user preference. Preference for system interaction may evolve over time. Project scope. Uncertainty about when the project is actually complete. Risk optimization. Adopt flexible design approaches to prevent cost overrun. And acknowledge the DSS project are ongoing and will need continuous adjustment in the futures.
Hi everyone, I'm Madeline Mascareñas and I'm one of the G4TV reporters discussing decision support system implementation. According to McLeod, DSS is a defined system that supports management roles by providing solutions to semi-structured problems. When implementing a DSS, it is critical to understand the users who will be using the system and the type of problems that the system could solve. In Module 5, there are two identified ways to implement a DSS. The first approach is the traditional DSS. According to Sprague and Carlson, there are three major components of DSS that synergize together and further interact with the user. These components are namely model-based, database, and human interface. Referring to Figure 5.1, implementing a computer-based DSS consists of a database and a database management software, a model-based and its counterpart model management software to execute models, and the user interface that would bridge the interaction between the model and its users. Let us further discuss each component in the next slides. The model component is the foundation for generating information to support decision-making. It involves models where there are a set of computer statements where each model is equipped with an entry and return linkage functionality, and it is possible to be called upon by the main program. The database component contains the variables utilized in the models, and it is capable of operating dictionary and CRUD operations. The last component is the human interface, which enables the interaction between the models, database, and its users, and the two most popular dialogue styles are the menu dialogue and the natural language interface. Menu dialogue allows the users to choose among the menu alternatives, while natural dialogue interface is capable of receiving commands inputted using a natural language. As a good example, ChatGPT receives prompts that are written in the English language.
Hi everyone, this is Nathaniel Malangit and I'll be discussing the organizational DSS. What is organizational DSS? Organizational DSS is computer-based information systems used to gather and analyze data. Organizational DSS has 5 major components: model-based, database, human interface, model run, and network. Model-based provides analytical and computational tools to assist in decision-making. Database is essential for storing, managing, and retrieving data that supports decision-making processes. Human interface includes all of the features and tools that make it easier for users to interact, enter data, and comprehend output. Model Run incorporates several components to guarantee that models can be used efficiently and that the results can be understood. Network allows people, external resources, and other system components to communicate and exchange data more easily. The bottom line is, organizational DSS has the ability to significantly improve organizational outcomes. It is designed to coordinate decision-making,
and disseminate decisions across functional areas, hierarchical layers, and geographically dispersed units.
Hello everyone, my name is Alvin and I'm here live at Berlin, Germany, reporting to you about simulation and modeling in a nutshell. Have you ever come to a point where you have to decide what is the best option for you? For example, where is your next travel destination? Is it a local or an international? If you choose a local, it might not hurt your budget, but your pictures might just look like more familiar. But if you choose an international destination, it might hurt your budget, but your pictures will have a different kind of sceneries. You might have not noticed, but your mind has undergone the process of simulation. Simulation, in fact, is an important factor of decision making. In building decision support systems, simulation is a technique that has been employed extensively to solve problems. And simulation undergoes different stages. First, we formulate the problem. Second, we build our models. Models is the description of our system. And then we acquire the data, we do the model translation, and then we verify. The next step is to strategize and do tactical planning. Next is experimentation, which is the execution of the simulation model to obtain output values. And then we analyze the result. And lastly, we do the process of implementing decisions resulting from simulations and the documentation of the model and its use. As you might have noticed, model is an important part of simulation process. In fact, models have two types. First is the optimizing model, which a model that is used to produce the best alternative for the situation at hand, while the other one is the sub-optimizing models, which a model that can be used over and over until a satisfying outcome has been produced. That's simulation and modeling in a nutshell. See you on the next one.
In conclusion, we explored the distinction between EDP, MIS, and DSS, emphasizing how each plays a crucial role in managing data and aiding decision-making. EDP handles routine data tasks, MIS generates structured reports, and DSS help analyze complex, unstructured problems. We also covered the decision-making process and the significance of DSS in supporting decisions through data and models. Finally, we discussed how to design a simple DSS for practical use. Here are the references of our reports and powered by the following applications. From G4TV, thank you to our viewers for their attention and participation.